The ANC President, Cyril Ramaphosa, set to appear before the party's Integrity Commission over the alleged cover-up of a 2020 robbery at his Phala Phala farm in Limpopo. In an explosive affidavit, the former spy boss, Arthur Fraser, claiming that 4 men gained access to the farm in cahoots with Ramaphosa's domestic worker and allegedly made off with about $4 million. Ramaphosa has maintained his innocence on the matter. The ANC's National Working Committee yesterday welcoming the decision by the president to voluntarily present himself before the commission. Well, for a discussion now on these developments, we're joined by Pule Mabe, spokesperson of the African National Congress. Mr. Mabe, thank you very much for giving us just this brief 5 minutes, unfortunately arriving just as we wrap up the show. Let's quickly touch on what came out of that NWC meeting yesterday. Confirm for us on the record that indeed the president will present himself before the National Integrity Commission of the party, but also, importantly, the officials of the ANC. What were they told by the president?
Well, good day, Coley, and good day to your viewers. We had our ordinary National Working Committee yesterday, and in that working committee we were then briefed that the president had updated the officials, national officials, on the issues that is now in the environment relating to media reports of a criminal charge that has been opened by Mr. Arthur Fraser. The National Working Committee then took a view that officials must process the matter and then bring the report to the National Working Committee. So we would not have really had more in-depth discussions without that kind of a report.
Yeah.
Safe to say, but they also made us aware was that the president had already begun talking to the Integrity Commission to voluntarily submit himself so that he can at least explain issues that are now playing themselves out in the public.
Yeah. The push for the president to step aside, how far did those discussions go?
There was no discussion about the president stepping aside. We saw media reports doing rounds, and it worried us because these media reports were doing rounds when we were just in the middle of the National Working Committee. So if there are members of the National Working Committee who are perhaps planting stories in the media, they should be careful. They've got a platform called the National Working Committee to raise their issues.
What you're telling us then, Mr. Mabe, and I'm sorry to cut in because of time, so what you're telling us is that Mr. Tony Yengeni, someone who, by the way, is happy to just tweet this information if he so sees fit, you're telling us that he is not going to contradict you and say that he did put it to the president that he should step aside.
Well, I'm the official spokesperson of the ANC. I speak on behalf of the party. So if Comrade Tony or anyone wants to deposit their own personal views out in the public, they must never make those to look like views of the organization. We're a self-respecting organization. We're not going to be intimidated by anyone in the organization who plants their own issues out there and want to appear like heroes. It's not going to happen. I'm the national spokesperson of the ANC, and the views that I articulate here are positions of the party, formal positions of the organization. No one else has got that right. They have not been appointed by the National Executive Committee to do so. If they use their Twitter account to write, that is their own personal space. The space of the ANC, the formal space of the party, is the one that we run, we commandeer. Okay. That's why we're here, to come and convey the formal position of the organization to yourself.
How soon will the president present himself to the...
Well, we are hoping that they will act with the necessary speed on the matter. We did say, we stressed that point even in the statement we issued. We said officials have got to act with the necessary speed. We are hoping that in the next National Working Committee meeting, they will be able to give us that report.
Fantastic. Let's quickly talk about the Guptas. You're talking about statements. We haven't seen any statement from the African National Congress as a governing party. How big a confidence booster is the arrest of 2 Gupta brothers in Dubai?
Actually, on my way here, we're just finalizing that statement. We are going to issue a statement of the African National Congress welcoming the arrest. This does show that our law enforcement agencies are quite serious in clamping down on corruption, those that have enforced it or those that have enabled it as well. So we'll be watching this case with keen interest because we have always spoken against corruption or any corrupt practices. Where we see law enforcement agencies acting, we must be the first to welcome such. Because the ANC has gotten a serious beating on corrupt practices, whether it's our own leaders being implicated in such practices, and this has actually gone to even undermine the confidence that we enjoy. We have seen this from our own electoral spoils.
Yeah.
We've lost a bit on those electoral fortunes because of this narrative that the party is in decline, in part because of perhaps being alleged to be associated with people who could be involved in corrupt activities.
How soon would the ANC like to see the Guptas delivered to South Africa, hopefully in handcuffs? But also important, Mr. Mabe, the capacitation of the National Prosecuting Authority. How strongly is the push from within ANC circles for that institution to be well capacitated in order to put up a brave fight against people who have amassed huge amounts of money on the back of South African taxpayers?
Well, the Minister of Justice, Minister Ronald Lamula, has actually been speaking about the issue of capacitating the NPA, including on presentations to Parliament where they wanted to be given more budgets so that they could be able to really make sure that they could retain and recruit necessary capacity, especially for the NPA. So we are really supporting those calls through our own Peace and Stability Subcommittee, and we're watching those closely, and we're hoping that the relevant Ministry of Finance will find it in their own planning when they do allocations to really give them sufficient resources to be able to fulfill this important and urgent work.
Mr. Mabe, let me thank you very much for your time, although I didn't hear just how soon you are itching for the Guptas to come to this country. Well, you're right, I did not answer that part. We are hoping that it will happen with great speed, considering that they have been on this case for quite a while. So it has to happen much sooner. All right. Pule Mabe speaks for the African National Congress. Very strong words there about the party being the one voice that is communicating, and it's through him. And that any member who speaks outside of that, I wonder what the consequences will be.